I am here to talk about the time I spent this weekend over in, Anaheim at the Pokemon Regionals this weekend. We're going to talk about what I did. Now, full disclosure, a couple things. First of all, I did not play in the main event. That's not really my thing. I spent most of my time on side events and side activities and stuff, and we're going to go into all of that. The other thing you should know is that don't go looking for archive streams or anything of this. The terminology that is explained, it seems like it's okay for me to do this type of live stream recap. I'm not going to be showing any photos probably from the event. But let's see here. All right. But apparently, in order to actually stream the event, let's see, turn my phone down, sorry. Using that to view the chat here, since that apparently does not actually go into YouTube. Let's see. Oh, no, wait, that. Welcome. Community guidelines. Well, yeah. Okay. All right, so I'll leave that off to the side. If you have any questions about the event, sorry for that little detour there, but please give us a comment in the chat or on this video if you're watching it afterwards. But basically speaking, they in order to actually stream regionals, they would have had to go through the, I guess, the usual Hollywood directory of folks who do this type of thing and stuff. Even if they could theoretically do it themselves, there's some regulations and stuff like that. And I guess I should also apologize for the lighting. This is in a hotel room, and I don't have a ton of control over how everything goes with all of that. But if you have any questions about the event, go ahead, type those into the chat room. Let's see. I think if I just pause the video there. Okay, good. Don't want to count towards my own stream, but I do want to be able to see the chat. Anyway, so just to review what a regional is, in North America, the way regionals work is that there are about 15 or so throughout US and Canada. I think Canada only got one this year. There was one in Toronto. And let's see, there was also one, and then there are a bunch across the United States. Mexico stuff is separate, as is Latin America's, and then other countries do have events called regionals, but they work a little bit differently. In any event, this is the one for basically Southern California. And the reason I went to this one as opposed to maybe some other ones that have been held throughout is that I'll admit, it's a first world problem. I had some vacation days I needed to use. I didn't want to cram them all between the week of Christmas and New Year's. Which is sort of a typical thing there. But basically, I just wanted to make sure that we got that I used them here. Seemed like a good spot to get down to sunny Southern California and out of the cold Wisconsin. Not technically winter for another, I guess, week or so. So we've got a little bit of time to do that. But anyway, that's more or less why I wound up here. You may also remember I used some vacation days a couple months ago. We had I went to Utah to do a panel at Anime Bonsai with Anne from Big B Podcast. So that's how I wound up here. But anyway, regionals usually consist of both a TCG and a video game portion. They are separate. You cannot participate in both. And that was sort of the main thing going on. But my interest was covering the event, and that didn't quite work out the way I had hoped, because I had kind of gone through the event website, and I really should have gone through my contact at the press agency that handles stuff for the Pokemon Company. And I'll try to remember that in the future. I'm just kind of so well known in my neck of the woods, and at some of the bigger events that are explicitly Pokemon run, I'll go through that. But we'll kind of go through there. Let's see. So I ended up just sort of participating in side events, met a lot of really great people. I actually met one guy, a kid from Toronto, who thought I had been at that regional. I hadn't, because he had looked up a video for that regional and gotten directed to one of mine. So that was kind of fun. I don't always, I'll admit, I'm not the top tier of YouTube video bloggers or whatever you want to call it. In any event, let's see here. But yeah, so the actual venue, if you look at my Twitter feed, there is a photo there. It was Now, it's held at the Anaheim Convention Center, which you may recall from a couple years ago was used to host, or not actually, it was last year, was used to host Worlds. And they did have streaming there, and they went because they had to go through the whole rigmarole, I guess, of getting whatever certified folks or whatever to do the streaming. It's just sort of a California specific rule for whatever reason, something in the state code or something like that. In any event, um, but this was at a smaller ballroom on the third floor of the convention center. And it seemed to be relatively well laid out. I think the numbers I heard for TCG Masters, there was 500 or so folks. And let's see, video game, I think there was 130, 150, somewhere in that range is sort of where things fell on the scale. So bigger than the one we usually have in the Midwest, I think. I don't remember the exact numbers, but overall, still a very similar atmosphere, very friendly people, as you'll find at pretty much any Pokemon event. But since I wasn't playing in the main event, I decided to take up some of the side activities, and they had a kind of a variety of things. Um, they had your standard. One of my lights just kind of dimmed out a bit there, unfortunately. Um, let's see. They had some of the usual stuff like the pickup standard and expanded format. I didn't do any of those because I have like one expanded deck that I've never bothered to update because expanded has never rotated, and I don't play competitively. But as far as what's called sealed, sealed is like pre-release is a good example, but basically sealed is any event where you are provided product to use over the course of the event. So a pre-release is a pretty good example there, but they have these things called pack battles. And sort of the way a pack battle works is that you're given one pack of cards and you build a 10-card deck with whatever you get in there plus basic energy. And some of the rules are modified. You cannot deck out. So if you have no cards in your deck at the start of your turn, you don't lose. If you have a discard pile at that point, you just shuffle it back in and start from there. And the goal is to get one knockout, really, because you can get one prize. And we were using the Lost Thunder set, which has some cards that in a one prize format are really, really good. One of the GX, I think it's an Ultra Beast, is just lets you discard your prize, which basically wins you the game there on potentially turn one with your GX attack. So if we were trying to play this as a serious or more serious format, they would obviously have to ban /limit /set certain minimums or something like that to do that. But this was basically a four-person tournament. You each build a deck. You play all three other folks in a round robin fashion. And I did kind of okay. I think over the course of the entire weekend, I think I managed to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 500. It's an extremely random format. But the nice thing about it is you get to you get to keep the cards in your pack when you're done. So pretty straightforward there. So I wanted to show some of the cards I picked up there. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. First couple ones of these I did. The rare I got actually two of these in over the process. There is this Moltres from Lost Thunder. Let's see, get that chance to focus. Come on. Yeah, this is the fun part about using a webcam. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, you kind of move it up forward. So I'm not going to say it's the greatest card ever, but it is interesting. It's got that 30 damage attack that lets you take a fire energy from your hand and attach it to one of your bench Pokemon, which is pretty neat. And then 3 energy for, let's see, 90 it looks like. Yes. I have to read these backwards in the preview on there. So interesting card. I don't know how competitive it actually has been, but it's definitely one we might see at some point. Let's see. I didn't play this because this is kind of worthless in a single prize format. And I don't think I got in this pack battle. I don't think I got too much good in the way of grass, but I did get a Star Prism or a Prism Star card. This is a stadium card. This is let's see, Life Forest. Basically, it lets you heal damage from one of your grass Pokemon each turn. Yeah, it's also interesting in that it is immune from item and supporter cards, which is kind of strange. Let's see. What else? Oh, So there was one, the first one I outright won. I got pretty lucky. I got these two cards. I'm pretty sure. I know I got the Lugia in that one. So let's see. Speaking of legendary birds, yeah, you got let's see, Lugia. Let's do these one at a time. You got Lugia GX, and since this is a one prize format, the multi prize penalty doesn't mean jeez. There you go. You sort of bring it up close, and then okay, there we go. But yeah, it's this is a nice full art. It looks like it's got Psychic, which is your standard base damage plus certain amount for energy. Let's see. Unfortunately, I cannot read that thing backwards. It's something blade. Um, but like you have to wait between turns to use it, but for 4 energy for 170, and then the GX attack, which lets you take your opponent's active Pokemon and discard it. Which in a format where very few Pokemon are played, sometimes as few as one. That is kind of I did technically win a few games that way. All right, so the other one I got that comboed reasonably well was this Chansey. Um, this is very interesting in a limited format. Let's see, there we go. Yeah. So healing pirouette. I expect not aria form. It's the pirouette form. That's right. Yeah, Meloetta would seem like a more likely thing, but Chansey has this one. Just heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. Getting better at reading these backwards. And then sympathetic slap. So it does nothing if there's any damage on the defending Pokemon, but otherwise it does 100 for 3 energy. So those were the two cards. Obviously did very well. Like I said, these are very random type stuff here. Let's see. A couple other things I got. Let's see. Was later I got this Tapu Bulu. First attack really isn't very good in the single pack format because, of course, your opponent isn't going to play very many bench Pokemon. Second attack is relatively decent. So I like this one. And then the other one I want to mention, Magearna, the Metal Fairy Pokemon. This one happens to be, I think metal is the term used in the TCG versus steel in the video games. I'm never sure why they haven't been able to do that. That minor error running, not a bad attack there. And then Energy Press does 30 plus 20 more for each energy. So all very interesting cards. Some of the ones I don't have here because they're not as, I guess, flashy. There's a Sudowoodo that if it was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn, does an extra 80 damage. Obviously, that's very good. Another fun one people like to use in this pack format is the Pineco that has basically a continuous flip a coin till you get tails. There's 20 damage times the number of heads. So you see some really weird stuff. And like I said, it is extremely random. Now, let's see here. My phone is okay. So that's about it for that in terms of that. But so usually what they've done in previous events that I've been to is they've had tickets for winning. In addition to, like, if you go into, depending on your place and whatnot. This time they gave away these little, let's see, I don't know if you can see that in there. Let me see. Yep. Always fun. There you go. Yeah, they have these special dice. I mean, they're not maybe the most amazing thing ever, but they seem well made. And I earned a number of these over the course of the event. But they have Anaheim Regionals 2018. They're specific to this event, so if I go to other regionals and they use a similar system, I won't be able to redeem these there. But they use these as sort of prize currency for the side events, and then you get to redeem these things. I did redeem something, which we'll show you in a little bit. All right, so what else did I get? I should point out, besides the TCG-related side events, and they had some video game ones as well, and they had actually had it on Sunday if I had wanted to. They had a full-on, like, League Cup or something. League Cup was one of them, and when a mid-season showdown for the VGC side. They had both of those running there, but they also had some folks running some Pokemon Go-related events. And basically, the way this works is you would give them $5. They would take a look at your thing, and they would give you some objective to complete. Like, I did 2 of them. One of them was to catch 20 Pokemon. The other one was to spin 20 Pokestops/gyms. And it didn't have to be 20 unique ones, but you had to get a total of 20, and they would track that in. And then when you redeem those, you get you can use those for various things, and they also had some opportunities to trade for some rare region-specific Pokemon that they did a drawing for. I didn't win that one, but I did pick up. I did complete those two, which was nice. And let's see here. This is what I kind of got for my two. I thought about doing more, but the odd thing about it is the economics of it, I have to admit, are kind of weird because you're paying money to do stuff, and then you have to do things in game. But it's kind of hard to describe. I'm not sure. I don't want to say it was terrible. I kind of enjoyed doing it, but if I see it at another regional, I'm not sure how interested I would be. But for the two things here, I got this. Let's see. This is from Japan. They had there for they had a variety of options. Obviously, the more of them you did, the better prizes you could get for it. I have this Magikarp thing. I don't think it's an actual fishing lure. It's supposed to be a charm. But if you look on the back here, they got apparently 10 different colors. I have not opened this yet. Let's take a look now and see which one I got. Let's see here. Of course, it's got a little bit of tape in there, so 1 second. There we go. All right. So let's see which one I got here. I got a gray one, it looks like. You take a look there. Gray or silver or whatever you want to call it there. Like I said, they seem to come in 10 colors, so it looks like I got color number 4. I'm not sure if any of them are particularly more rare. There was a sort of yellow gold one, but they also, in addition to just being different colors, they do have slightly different markings. So you notice this is not quite the same as your usual Magikarp. It's got some dark gray and white speckles on it. Let's see, can we get that to focus? There we go. Okay, yeah. And like I said, this is, I guess you hang it off of a keychain or something like that, some sort of charm. So not bad as a little extra bonus. I also did some other Pokemon Go stuff. There happened to be a couple raids at the Pokemon Gym representing the convention center itself. The first one on Saturday was for a Lugia, which I actually managed to catch. Since there were so many people in the area, just in general, there were some other things at the convention center, and of course, all the Pokemon folks. It's pretty easy to get a good crowd together to do these types of things. And so we were able to sort of subdue the Lugia, and I actually managed to catch it on my second ball, my second premier ball. And then let's see, today there was another raid right at the same place. It was an Alolan Raichu, and we managed to subdue it, but I wasn't able to catch it. I flubbed a couple throws, and the ones that I did connect on just didn't work out for me. So that's kind of unfortunate, but that's just how it works. So like I said, so those were some raids I did. Now, I mentioned these little dice here. These were the currency for the side event rewards. I got 4 of them in total. I wanted to keep one just to kind of show you here and also just kind of long term. But I did do 3 of them. And if you take a look here, I got this. I had this variety. Well, they had mostly the regular Pokeballs. This was the last, I think, quick ball that they had. I guess it has some. Unfortunately, the shrink wrap here is a little bit off of where it should be. You can kind of hear inside of it. There's definitely something in there. Supposedly, there are a couple booster packs and a coin in there. So let's get the shrink wrap off. Let's take a look here. Again, if you have any questions about the event or what I did there or all that fun stuff, go ahead and take a look there. Let's see. Live chat. Okay. It doesn't look like anything came in here, but that's okay. Let's see. If you're watching this in after it's been put up there, let's see. Ah, yes. Plastic wrap. I'm not sure if this is technically shrink wrap, but get why it's there. And here's a little perforation sign. All right. Toss that over here. Let's see. Okay, so take a look there. I'm guessing you press the ball thing to open it up, maybe? Must open some way. Let's see here. Oh. Must be some way to open. Is it open in the back? Oh, it does. Okay. Oh, it opens all around. Okay. You think it would be open up like this, but no, it really just lifts and separates apart. So let's see. What have I got here? Okay, these are Sun and Moon. Variety of sets here. Let's see. We got a little Zoroark coin. That's kind of interesting because you think this would be like one of the Tapus or something. It's a fifth. Yeah, it's the fifth generation Pokemon for some reason. I'm guessing they just had those in a warehouse and they kind of, I don't want to be too harsh on them, but the paint job on the ball itself is nice. I'll have to see if I can package that up and make sure it doesn't get too scratched in my luggage on the way back. But let's take a look. So let's see. First, we got Crimson Invasion. Let's see what we got in here. You have to satisfy my curiosity. Let's see. Let's see. We got. Oh, I should sometimes put the code cards in or the codes in some of my TCG related videos when I do those occasionally. So let's see, Sandalit. Let's see, we got Mankey, Cubone, Execute. Speaking of Magikarp, there's some Magikarp Submerge. It can avoid damage when it's on the bench. Oh, this is a neat one. This is a reverse foil is a Houndoom. Let's see, actual rare is a Mamoswine. And let's see, I got a basic Water Energy, Larion, Emolga. Nice art there. I like the action shot they have of Emolga there. And then Alolan Graveler. So I got a nice little Alolan. And I do want to remark, speaking of Alolan Pokemon, that one of the neat things you can do in the new Let's Go games is you can trade for some of the Alolan Pokemon, which really helps in certain areas. Because otherwise you don't have much in the way of, like, there are no dark Pokemon in the Kanto Pokédex otherwise, but you can get a Rattata / Raticate, and there's Meowth / Persian. You can get those done, which is good. All right, so this one was Burning Shadows. These are, I think, all relatively early XY sets. So we got, let's see, Sandygast, let's see, Venipede, okay, Horsey. Let's see, Mudbray, the donkey Pokemon. Let's see, Leddyba. Ooh, this is interesting. So we got neat looking Kingdra. I like all the currents and waves and stuff in there. Let me see if I can focus on that because I really want you to see this. I kind of forgotten about this guy, but the art itself is really kind of stellar. Let's see, get that to focus. Yeah. So neat little whirlpools there. I think that's a Azumarill in the background. But it's got brine. Let's see. You have to do it to something that has damage counters on it. It's a tornado. What's that called? Shot. Okay. Maybe I'm not as good as reading backwards as I thought, but very nice artwork on the cards. Let's see who did this. He says, Mitsuhiro Rita, one of the longtime artists, if I remember correctly. All right, one more, and then we'll sort of do, if you have any questions on this, you can certainly ask those. Otherwise, we got this one, Breakthrough. So actually, this is from XY, so there's a little bit of a range here. Not sure when they started or when they made these, so. All right, so this is a 6th generation set. So we got LGM, Axu, see, Froakie, Misdreavus. Love the way that thing kind of looks like hair, but the little things that run back, that's always kind of neat. Hoot Hoot. Ooh, okay. But first, here's the reverse foil. Here's a Doduo. I don't know if you could see in the background, there's it's either a Doduo or Dodrio on that truck there as well for some reason. I'm guessing that's something in the game, but I don't remember. Now, here's the good one. This is a Houndoom EX. I'm not sure it's really all that good functionally as a card, but darn, it looks good, doesn't it? Oh, yes, and remember these Spirit Links. Since this is an XY set, it has the Glalie Spirit Link. It has Skyla. I don't think they reprinted that. Maybe they did in Sun Moon, but it's a decent card. Okay, and Print Love. Art's kind of interesting. It's in like a freezer of some sort, and it's looking for something, I guess. I don't know, or that's a salute or something like that. But neat little card there. I love the little touches they put on a lot of these art pieces of artwork. So good stuff there. So yeah, overall, as far as this weekend, I'm glad I went, even though like I said, mostly just side events. The one other side event I didn't mention is that after they ran out of packs to do pack battles, they did do one quote unquote pre-release. It was using the build and battle boxes that you get at the pre-release. No bonus packs afterwards, although I did earn a die off of it. And not sure how much to say there, but it's I did reasonably well. I was 2-1 in that one. I don't know that I got too many. I had the let's see, I had the Ampharos, and what was the other one? I'm trying to think of the name of the Pokemon there. It was the Poplio Final Evolution, Brion, and then gosh, why can I never? It seems like I have so much trouble remembering the final form of that evolution line. I'm sure I could look it up, and I can see it in my head, but the name is escaping me. But that's kind of what went on with that. That went relatively well. The one game I did lose, we actually got it down to my opponent's last card, so we were able to at least make it reasonably close, even though I don't think the game overall went as well for me as I would have liked. But I still, even though I didn't participate in the main event, really liked my time here. I felt it was very well run. A lot of things to do there. And obviously getting down, it wasn't super warm here. It's supposed to be getting up to like 80 later this week. But for the time I was here, the highs were around 70. So much warmer than it is in Wisconsin this time of year. But it's not the kind of thing you would see here in warmer parts of the year. But yeah, kind of like that. All right. Well, I guess the one thing left to do is to give a little bit of an update on where things are headed with the channel. Kind of unfortunate I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to put together. Oh, what is it? Let's see. Oh, the what is it? Oh, the interviews. I still have 2 interviews from Wizard World Comic Con from earlier this month to get to. The first one, the Erica Schroeder one, is out there, but there is one with Real Breaking Nate and one with one of the press folks. I hope to have at least one of those up by the end of this week, and then I'm off for most of the Christmas week, so I should have, depending on what kind of things I get for Christmas and how much time I spend on them, some time to work on some of that stuff. So looking forward to catching up on all of that. If you do have any questions, go ahead. I am looking obviously towards next year and what I kind of want to accomplish. I'm not sure I have any super specific goals, but always like to learn those things. So let's see, it looks like we do have someone on. I will give them a brief chance here just to ask any questions in the chat or whatever, if they so desired, about the things going on here. But yeah, so that's about what I've got. So definitely gave out some cassettes. It was actually kind of a fun story. There was one group of people, they were leaning towards the CD until they realized the car they had driven to the event in was so old that it had a cassette player that they weren't sure if it worked or not. So kind of funny stuff there. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what the next Pokemon event I'm going to be going to. I am still working out kind of my schedule for next year, and some of it depends when Worlds is, and sort of like when we get more information on North American internationals and stuff like that. But keep an eye on here, folks. Always appreciate you sticking around. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments on the video. All right, folks, that's pretty much going to do it for this one. Thanks.